There is a feature in Positive that is unique to this point of sale program. Other packages just don't have it. Let me start out with the inventory item. We like people to order items through our purchase order system, and it has some advantages. I have an item right here that has been ordered before. Item activity is a great tool. PO history will show all the purchase orders for that item. When you do purchase orders and you receive product, you may not have the actual invoice from the vendor in front of you, and yet you're anxious to get the product out on the floor and priced and out and around. So many people receive product without having the official invoice from a vendor. They can go to accounts payable and they can then put in the right cost on the item. So if you're receiving products early, you may not be aware that there was a price increase until the bookkeeper contacts you. I can highlight this purchase order, choose View PO, and this item came in and the cost was $40, but it should have been $42 according to the vendor's invoice. So I choose Edit Highlighted, and I have access to the cost field, and I can change the cost here. The great advantage that Positive does that other software programs do not is that we are changing the cost. We can be prompted to change the selling price if we decide to do that. But we're also changing cost on invoices that have already been created. We know every invoice that goes out what purchase order it was linked to. So let me show you how that works. I have here sales history, and notice that the item, when I changed it 42, it went out and changed these invoices from back in 10/17 and so forth, because those items were part of that purchase order. This other one didn't get changed because that wasn't the same purchase order. That purchase order was a previous one, and it did actually come in at $40, and then afterwards we got the 42. Now that screen, yeah, it just refreshed now. I had to change the screen a little bit, but that's good. Another issue along this same line is sometimes we sell items. We sell items with no cost. Maybe in the initial setup, we imported the items. We didn't have a cost here, but in reality, there is a cost, and Stock Manager doesn't show us anything. We just know that there was a cost. We don't have any purchase orders, but we do have sales. How do you correct these? Well, the best plan is to edit the inventory item and identify the actual cost of the item. So let's say that this cost was $723. How do I know that? Well, I'm looking at paperwork. We just didn't get it into Positive, and that's the issue. So the real cost is $723. I'm going to save this. I'm going to come back to Item Activity, Sales History, and I can manually choose Cost Verifier and change each invoice to the right cost. On this scale, it isn't that hard, but when I have another item that has lots and lots of invoices, that's a little bit difficult. So there's a shortcut. Instead of choosing Cost Verifier here, I choose Details. At the far left, I choose Sales Details, and I can tag all of my invoices 2 years ago, whatever, and then use the Cost Verifier. That's the new cost because I edited the item, update the cost, and say OK. And now the cost is correct, the margins are correct.